It's dramiS, it's effortless. Welcome back. You are watching our latest edition of the Quake Pro League. My name's Ketchup and I'm joined by Lethal. Now we're going to go into this next matchup, the third series of the day already. Been a bit of a fast day, it feels, yet here we are. Two players that have been there, done that in Quake Pro League and are in, I think, interesting positions. Because Effortless, I definitely think Effortless he's got a slow grind, but he is progressively getting better and better, personally. You know, from the Effortless that we started with in Pro League to the Effortless now, very much a different kind of beast. dramiS, unfortunately, has again been a bit more of an inconsistency, which is almost weird to say about him because he's normally a player that you bet is going to sit around that kind of comfortable upper mid-level. And, you know, there are some players that you know he'll be able to take out, and there are some players that you know he'll kind of struggle with. This stage, it's been kind of hard to say, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it has been a bit weird. Like, his recent form has been incredible, but like even like during the early stage of stage 2, it's just been completely different, which is a bit strange. And for Effortless, you know, we've seen him like talk about it and say that with his work life, and obviously when he comes back home and he actually needs to try and play as well, it's it's very stressful for him. So he hasn't really got as much of enough time to put in order to grind Quake Champions, especially for the Quake Pro League. So it could be why he's, technically at the bottom of the barrel. But then again, he is a kind of player where he can definitely bounce back when he needs to. But he's got to be a little bit more careful because dramiS, it seems like his recent form is a lot better from what we've seen in previous weeks. But you're right, though. It's a bit weird for dramiS in this respect of Stage 1 finals. He was taking out opponents we did not expect. He continued that form for the first couple of weeks and then all suddenly kind of dropped again. So yeah, a bit unheard of. Again, it's not the kind of thing you normally see from dramiS, but actually then again, you've seen dramiS do that before where he's hit his peak performance and then all of a sudden he's dropped again. But we'll have to see. We know what kind of player dramiS is like, very counteractive, likes to be reactionary on certain situations. He's kind of like Dewey, but a bit more aggressive. But Effortless is kind of the guy who likes to go for those full-on, close range combat or using his combat skills to his advantage in any way. So we should see a lot more of the smaller maps compared to what we've seen in the past. But we'll have to see though. With both these players, it's a must-win. They're teetering on relegation. Same with Dewey. And I think it's going to be a fight for those three, maybe even a fourth player. It's very close between them all in terms of points and if they're going to go into the relegation zone or not. So for these two, it's a must-win.
So when we get to see the maps and everything else and the journey, it looks like we are going to be going in with those close-range maps, as you quite rightly pointed out. We have Corrupted Keep, Deep Embrace, and then Veil of Nath. The champion picks are Keel versus Strog, then with the Ranger and the Athena. Ooh. On the Deep Embrace, actually, which has worked in the past and sometimes has gone catastrophically wrong. And then Veil of Nath, Scalebearer versus Galena to finish things out. Both players, I think, are just waiting on their opportunity to start off. So we should not be too much longer. But I think you made the right call out. We are going to have those close quarters maps. And we're starting off with Corrupted Keep with Keel and Strog. I mean, this is going to be potentially a bit of a heavy hitter.
Yeah, Effortless with the kill, so we won't be seeing that on Deep Embrace. And in terms of map picks as well, dramiS seemed like he would be a little bit skeptical. Like, one of his best maps is Veil. He's won Veil almost every time. And on Awoken, I feel like he is good on Awoken too. He's had some hit and misses, but in terms of his recent form, he has been looking very good on Awoken. But he knows for Effortless, that's his best map. So I think he didn't want to take the risk. He's like, okay, do you know what? Even though I'm quite good on this map too, I'm not sure if I'm capable of actually being able to beat your best map. So he's decided to remove that, which is, understandable. If you don't feel as comfortable as your opponent, then why choose it, even if you are quite decent in that map? And Deep Embrace for the Ranger versus the Athena, with the verticality of the Athena, see what dramiS can do. And yeah, the final map at Veil, the Galena versus the Scalebearer. So it means that dramiS will have to be on his toes and try and take out all these totems, especially around the rail area or maybe up top. It's, there's a lot of things you've got to take into consideration, but he needs to make sure that for Effortless, he keeps his distance.
Yeah, I'm looking at that final map, and it's almost a mirror, actually, because we start things off with the Corrupted Keep, and it's damage and chunkiness of the keel, and then it's mobility. Mobility really being a bit of a magic word here for dramiS, and it is often. He's a big fan of those high mobility champions. His execution is phenomenal. And there's a reason the crouch slide, I think, tends to be his secret weapon. But in that final map, I'm interested over what could happen there, because you've got the Galena, which is often a very popular pick on Veil, because it's just the denial, the health all makes a big difference, sure, but the Scalebearer being able to just bull rush through all of it is something that I'm looking forward to seeing. It's not a matchup that I see every day, actually, Galena versus Scalebearer. So we'll find out what happens there. Looks like we're actually loading into the Corrupted Keep now, so it shouldn't be too long. Had a bit of a thing to sort out there, but we should be good to go. Both players now ready. Thanks for your patience, as always. But, I mean, Lethal, predictions. Who do you think has the edge here? Because I think this is a bit tricky to predict with the way things have gone recently.
Yeah, you're not wrong in all fairness. I would say, in terms of prediction, maybe a 2-1 in favour of dramiS. If it was dramiS like a few weeks ago, I probably would have said, don't even ask me to predict it, because I don't have a clue. It could literally go either way. But the way dramiS has been playing recently, and the fact that he able to get one of his best maps and he's taken out Awoken, I'd probably say it should go 2-1 in his favour. I kind of feel like with Effortless, he's trying to work on his work-life balance at the moment. He probably hasn't had as much time to play. And I'm sure a few other players are like that as well in the Pro League. But we'll have to see. I feel like dramiS will be the one to take this. Like, only by an edge, though.
No, I tell you what, work-to-life balance is something that is hard to explain, but is so important. Because sometimes you'll do things during the day, you'll try and get practice time in the evening. But, I mean, you need to have a life, too. Time spent with loved ones or whatever. And it's very hard to juggle all of it, speaking from experience. But that's going to be an instant first frag coming up from dramiS. Opens things up strong with the super shotgun. And Effortless. Yeah, doesn't have a lot of utility to take out the Pika. The super shotgun was as good as it was going to get. But now, we start things off. dramiS. Good range, but Effortless doesn't really have the weapons. Oh, that's a good rocket, though. 100 damage just like that. And he stops dramiS from picking up the Mega.
Oh, he was so close. He wanted to take that risk to go for the Mega. Do love to shamble his arm, though. He's trying to LG him across into the red room, and now he's stuck there. And this could be Effortless' chance to go for it, but instead has decided to go for the rotation. He had an inkling, an assumption that he was going to go across there, but it still got taken down. Maybe Effortless should have pushed into that red room to stop him to go for the 2 health bubbles and go in afterwards. But, that's all in the past. Effortless is mad to type things up, picks up the Mega. And how's he going to go for that, though?
I haven't seen Effortless as player cam for the first time. Until just now.
Oh, go on.
And I just realised what he's wearing.
I didn't even realise. Like I said, I don't even normally look at player cams. But I must say, Effortless, you are looking dashing, mate.
I mean, we're starting to see it more and more. We had Chain with the Athena cosplay last week. And now, Effortless pulling out all the stops. For that reason alone, I'd like to see him get the series win here. Totally not biased, I promise. But now 3 for 3. And they do continue to simply trade the frags on and off. But, as dramiS comes flying around that corner, he does not take a whole bunch of rocket damage, but you're stuck. The juggle.
I don't know if I've missed out on the memo or something about Fancy Dress Party, but, Effortless is definitely playing his part. Looks absolutely fabulous, but will his dress sense be able to be the same as his skill during this series? We'll have to see. But dramiS has taken so much damage from the nails. Already tied things up 4-all, and Effortless is looking very, very good, both in and outside the game. As now, he's still got 7.5 minutes to work with, still got a huge amount of pineapples. Hasn't got the LG as of yet, but he's doing so much damage with the heavy machine gun. A great rocket there, 78 to clean him up, and the super shotgun to do its duty to get the lead 5-4.
Gets caught a little bit swapping weapons towards Mega. Oh, dramiS is weak. Faintly in the distance, there was a strong... And now, can he finish the job? There's no pickups in there anymore. In the nail gun room, underneath. Tries to get in and out and take those lights all around. Effortless has to be careful. Gets the wonderful call out on the drop, but he can't get the kill. He's so close.
It's been back and forth between both of these players, and it's kind of what we expected. And both these players, it is a must-win. Even trying to get a 3-0 between each other, or even if it's a 2-1. But every map counts in this Quake Pro League, and this series win is absolutely vital for both these players, both in a similar situation on the America's leaderboard. dramiS needs to back away at some point. He is heavily outstacked in comparison, and Effortless is looking for blood. He knows he's weak, manages to clean him up. Mega's come up in the next 3 seconds. dramiS isn't really going to have too much time to contest it, but Effortless needs to try and get it before he will. But no, it's actually dramiS who picks up the Mega. It's an awful way to you know, give that item away, and now it gives dramiS, you know, a chance to get back in this game. Oh, okay, maybe not. Apart from that, LG does burn the heavy though. Will he be able to get away? Oh, just manages to lets 2 items, you know, creep away, which is a little bit of a surprise. As long as he gets to 50, should be fine, but he has to back away. He can't fight. He cannot give dramiS this trade.
Now I feel like as we go into this next fight, the Mega's good, but the shotgun's great as well. Trying to stay safe. Oh, the rocket splash! That was so close. Could have gone either way, absolutely. But as Effortless now spawns with a giant stack, the heavy does get taken. I think that's why the frag going down was a bit frustrating to deal with, because if you've got that frag, you go in and take the heavy. If not, yes, you're going to spawn with a giant stack, but they're going to have armor to compete with yours. The Pika is good as well. The Pika has been a bit of a common problem for dramiS. He's using it in situations where he's taking loads of free damage, but is thankfully able to pick it up right there. And they are even split in this all-out brawl. God, today has been an absolute swing. We just go in.
Another I'm definitely flag. Not complaining.
Oh, no, definitely not. I love these matches.
Effortless, though. He's the one with the lead. I'm sure dramiS will somehow take it back, somehow, some way. Effortless, though, good LG from him. He's so weak, even from that last Pika. 15 HP. Oh, he was very, very lucky and has to try and get away. dramiS is going to try and take the fight anyway, but no, he has to back away now after Effortless taking that Mega. Completely different scenario for him. Heavy's up in the next 3 seconds. Effortless is going to stand his ground, needs to try and dodge these rockets. I won't be able to, but dramiS takes himself out in the process. But not too bad, but then again, yeah, he's going to get the heavy on spawn. dramiS needs to be careful now of how and where Effortless is going to go. Decided to go bottom mid. He's going to contest the Mega from below. He's going to check to see if dramiS is in the red room, which he isn't, but knows his whereabouts from the heavy machine gun shots. He's going to fire a few out. Probably will let him get the Mega, and is going to back away.
A little bit of opening damage, but again, dramiS consistently using that Pika in a position where he kind of feels protected, at least at the time. But again, dramiS drops right as Heavy's going to spawn. That has been a common occurrence as Effortless controls the Heavy for another time. Mega's about to spawn. Can he get both items? He is going to hear it. dramiS is able to kind of run in and out. Effortless cannot overstay his welcome here. He gets some decent heavy machine gun damage. The fact that dramiS has no armor, that might be a bit of an opportunity for Effortless. Ooh, pineapple 50, just like that. Oh, and he gets taken out. Wonderful call out. And it will be another heavy.
Yeah, this is great stuff from Effortless. Extending his lead, finding his footing. Like what he did there too, just to purposely waste some pineapples to pick up the hourglasses to stop dramiS from having any more Pikas. Not any more Pikas, but just delaying the Pika advantage. Effortless, though, still keeping atomic control. He's looking to find out where he is. Doesn't know his exact location as of yet. Realises now that it's just gone through that heavy telly. Let's see if he tries to drop down or not. But he can rain down those rockets. He decides to go through the telly straight away.
I like that.
Stop him having any more advantage. I do as well.
Strong arm your way through. Force dramiS to escape. He's got a wonderful call out on the spawn. Unfortunately, no rockets to his name. So that's going to be a bit tragic, but at the end of the day, he's able to get the Mega all the same, and Effortless, if he keeps playing his cards right just like this, is absolutely going to take this first map. And once more, the Pika. dramiS is pretty early on the heavy, though. Dare I say, way too early, because he gets taken out cleanly.
And Effortless's LG percentage, you know, 43%, and he's fired over 1,000 shots. It's just ridiculous. And I like his range game, you know, it's just, a lot of people have been saying how you should play Corrupted Keep. You know, one of the best ways is having that heavy machine gun, keeping your distance, especially if they're stuck at the LG. It's very, very difficult without getting out from their area, without taking so much damage. And Effortless has just been keeping his calm, keeping his cool, just switching from the HMG to the LG, making sure that he struggles to go for some of his items. And he's put so much pressure on over the last few minutes, but hasn't really given, you know, dramiS much room to breathe or much of an idea on how to get back in this match. But he still knows he's there. He's picking up the Mega nicely. If I look at the item control so far Effortless has picked up 23 items compared to dramiS's 10.
Wow, that LG was thoroughly impressive, though, on the side of dramiS. Unfortunately, took a significant amount of damage. He is going to be just in time for the heavy all the same, but on the subject of Lightning Gun, Effortless's LG, it's been impressive for quite some time. I feel like it's his strongest weapon, and it has become. Speaking of, another fight, but he's used a lot of ammo, doesn't have much left in the tank. Oh, and he's not able to shut down the Mega either. Now, 1 minute warning for 4 frags on most maps would say, oh, it's going to be difficult, but this is Corrupted Keep. You are up against a Keel, so you're going to have to keep that in mind, but... Oh, he goes to the teleporter anyway. 100 damage. Do the math. It good. As now, dramiS, big trouble. And hang on a minute. Effortless, he's about to get this heavy. This is going to be a very, very hard comeback to make now as Effortless. Yeah, that's it. Surely that will be a swift GG. The second he got that fight, won that fight, backed off and got the heavy, done deal.
That's right. Mathematically impossible. Effortless had a very strong showing during those last few minutes, keeping that full item control, keeping them segregated. His LG just been ridiculous, playing the range game with the heavy machine gun, making sure that he pins him either around rockets or in that LG area. He's just done a great job playing Corrupted Keep how it should be played. nice little pineapple to finish off the map, and there we have it. Effortless with the first map win in this third series. Great stuff from him. Both players played well, in all fairness. It's just Effortless had an edge on some of those bouts.
And, God, wow, looking at the damage alone, both players able to break the 5,000 damage threshold. That was rather impressive there, but what continued to be impressive was Effortless and just... The items was a big play, particularly at the heavy. A lot of these different frags in this replay might even just be dramiS on heavy first, Effortless having better timing, pushing forward, winning the fight, picking it up. Like, look, in these situations here, consistently dramiS was caught trying to use Pika in situations that just... It's like right as Effortless comes around the corner. You know, I can't assume that dramiS knew he was there, because if he did, he probably wouldn't have done it. But so many of these fights took place near heavy for a good reason that Effortless kind of just ruled those heavies with a bit of an iron fist almost. But a good showing, a great way to start.
Yeah, he was caught with his trousers down a few times, let's be honest, with that peak, or when he, contested the heavy way too early. We're not sure if that was his game plan to contest it early, or maybe he wasn't too sure of the exact timing, so we're just having a rough estimate of when it could be. But you can even tell from the weapon selection as well, Effortless favoured the LG much more than the rockets. Like, he literally doubled, the ammo count in comparison of usage compared to dramiS. He was more focused on trying to get the sprinkle, a little tickle of damage here and there, which does add up, rather than relying on the defensive predictive rockets, which dramiS normally likes. But like I said before, the heavy machine gun at LG did its justice, and keeping back the whole time was going for the items. He was always at a heavy advantage in terms of stack, going for the Mega or going for the heavy. So well done for Effortless, playing a very calculated but aggressive matchup on Corrupted Keep.
But it will be one small map into another, as it's Deep Embrace up next. And this is where the risk-reward comes in. So the last time I recall seeing a Athena used on Deep Embrace, she just couldn't get started. She couldn't get that momentum, because she is a momentum champion. And dramiS, I have all the confidence he can make it work. But if she gets put on the back foot and spawning with no armor, getting caught by rail, in all those situations where you don't want to be caught, she cannot start her game plan at all, and you are just left with a light champion that is getting constantly railed on spawn, and it's hard to make your presence known on any of the items. It can be it looks like one of the harder maps to make her work well, and that's purely just what we've seen in Pro League. It kind of reminds me of when we first started to see Athena, where when she worked wonderfully, but when she didn't, it was just downhill from there, But hopefully it's not one of those times.
I hope so. We know dramiS. We know what he's like. He likes to test the waters a little bit. It's like that time he used a slash and awoke him. It just did not work. But he's going to try the Athena again and see what he can do here. But I have faith in all these players testing out different champions on certain maps to kind of throw their opponent off guard, because they don't know how the matchup fully actually works in terms of what they should be doing. But Ranger is a very stable, very standard pick for this map. But with the Athena, like you said, hasn't probably worked before, but maybe he has something up his sleeve. As the shotgun comes out, he left on 25 HP, 50 now. Jumps is staying alive. Will he be able to finish with the shotgun? No, he doesn't. But Effortless is seeing if he can get that rail, but it doesn't matter, as he cleans him up with the rocket, and Effortless is the one with the first frag in this map.
But a bit of a messy frag, I think, as well. dramiS. Oh!
Yeah.
So
No.
there was a little bit of dramiS, I think, on the player cam side of things there when you can see that first frag was almost a look of, I really can't believe that happened kind of situation where just there was not a huge amount of damage either way. Took a lot longer than maybe it should have. And starting things off with a way that might frustrate you, hopefully it doesn't continue through, but this is where things get scary. A light on Deep Embrace where you can easily get caught by a rail the second you've spawned. It is it's one end of the seesaw or another. Either you're going to be in full control all the way through, or you're going to struggle to get your foot in the door. And unfortunately for dramiS, that is kind of where we're starting. Yes, Effortless is going to have to hit some pretty, clutch little rails to make it work. But Effortless, he's playing incredibly well today. I wouldn't put it past him. Here's the footsteps.
I'm just hoping Effortless just continues to be winning in this matchup so I can look at his get-up, because he is looking dashing in any catch-up.
I mean, it's always impressive that it doesn't get in the way at all. You know what I mean? That's what I find more impressive than anything.
Yeah, it's. I don't think many people could
it was like
do
Chain
that.
last week with the goggles. I'm like, can he even see in those?
Oh yeah.
Because he had them above first, and Feline are like, what if when the chips are down he puts the goggles on? The final map he put the goggles on, and I'm like, how well can he realistically see with those?
Surely he can't get 100% vision on those goggles, but going back into the matchups, only 2 minutes and 15 have passed. Effortless is trying to rail him, but he has to back away. But it looks like dramiS is all in to try and clean him up. But sadly, he won't be able to. But the Orb may be able to stop him, but he doesn't. Both these players are so weak. Effortless is only on 7 HP. Both of them missed rails. That was frustrating. dramiS missed another one, and Effortless is the one who cleans him up and gets the Mega for his trouble. That was one way to get that frag.
God, that was a scary fight. Now dramiS, he's only got a rocket to his name. Looking for the grappling hook. Oh, takes big damage, but it will be Effortless dropping anyway. Now, even though the heavy got taken, dramiS, can he find the light? 10 seconds away from Mega, so it's going to be putting yourself in position first. You can see dramiS, he is sticking to Effortless, not giving him an opportunity, but there's the orb. Not quite able to get much. However, whoever gets this frag will be rewarded by the Mega. In this case, it's going to be dramiS. Able to pick it up at the very least. But I like that dramiS, he's not playing this constant runaway game. He's not trying to be elusive. He is making his presence known. He's pushing forward. It is a big risk to take, because you are so much squishier than everyone else, but he needs to make sure Effortless can't just cycle around and take what he wants. dramiS has to challenge him every step.
Yeah, it's like a game of chess. It's like showing your map presence. It's like, I am here, you can't go here. And dramiS has done that very, very well. And so far, he's actually made a good comeback. He was on -1, but now he's back to 2. He's only 1 frag behind Effortless. Has managed to restack, but needs to be careful on the whereabouts of Effortless. He knows he's at the heavy spawn, but it's just a matter of how much chip damage he can do. But Effortless has already got 1 rail in, which is more than enough for him to try and pressure on. But I think the window of opportunity is already depleted. But oh my goodness! As both players do actually manage to trade that frag, even with dramiS having that rail, but Effortless has the rail of his own now. But he's railable, needs to be very careful. Both players are railable now, but it looks like both players are not going to challenge. They're both not going to overextend. They know that this map or this series overall is huge for both of these players. They need to be careful on what mistakes and what they want to do in terms of this matchup. But another good rail, but dramiS has brought back a second one of his own. Again, another window of opportunity for him to come back. Effortless only on 28 HP. dramiS comes up. Beautiful super shotty there from him. And now dramiS is going to see if he can get some damage done on the spawn. Sadly, he doesn't, but Effortless with a lovely orb there to clean him up and now finally regain that lead.
That's quite a significant eye roll there from dramiS off that.
Yeah, it was right. It was right.
That's the kind of orb that you get hit by and go, ah. That's an exact quote. But as he pushes forward with the rocket launcher in hand, Effortless, there is no armor, especially now. The pre-death sound means that all you need to do is change to anything else. A little bit of splash will do the job. And it's an even split so far to push forward. And dramiS again getting a good rocket. But this is why I'm such a fan of his Athena.
Oh no. As if.
I know, right? That's wrong place, wrong time right there.
Never mind. It doesn't matter though. Effortless can still regain momentum if he can, but dramiS is just having a field day. He's barely missing any shots compared to the previous map in the last 5 minutes. But sadly for him, Effortless just barely stayed alive with 2 HP. Still needs to restack though, and I like the way Effortless has delayed his approach to traveling to bottom mid rather than going for it straight away. Would have been way too predictable if he did that. Picks up the Mega, and dramiS has done the same. Likewise for picking up the Heavy, but they have dropped down. One of his players will be taken down. Looks like dramiS is in a really bad situation. He knew eventually he will go for that 50. But what is dramiS going to do here? He needs to stay up top. Wait for him. Oh, if he hit that rail, that could have been a different picture. But Effortless manages to take him down. Gets the first rail. Will he get the second? No, he doesn't. But he's still looking for it. He's not reliable anymore. But at least he can do enough damage to maybe clean up with the shotgun. As will he be able to? Oh, that was a great rail there from Effortless as he picks up the Heavy for his troubles.
Absolutely sublime shot coming out from Effortless. Rather stressful situation too. You know, you're so close to being fragged yourself, but there's a significant chunk of time before either of the two items are going to spawn here. Perfect call out, Effortless. Not making his presence known for the right time. Right as he comes around, but he takes a bunch of damage in the exchange. Not quite able to get the damage himself, but ooh! More of the grappling hook action and the punish coming out from Effortless saying, I dare you to use it.
Back and forth between both of these players. The momentum is definitely in their favour, back and forth as well. Great shotgun there from Effortless, especially after that grapple hook. Managed to restack. He's got the weapons in his arsenal if he wants to take this next bout. But how's he going to do it though? He's assuming that he may have gone to that rail spawn, but he's actually bottom mid. Does have the orb if he wants to use it again. But how will he use it? Is he going to travel over unexpected, or is he going to use it to its full potential and try and get a huge chunk of damage done? Looks like we'll be going for the Mega first. The Heavy is way too close together in terms of timing, so he can't go for that. It looks like he's just going to hide around the shotgun. And, you know, this isn't his game plan. He's not going to stay here the whole time. He just wants to waste enough time so that once dramiS feels uncomfortable, then he knows he'll have to push to his disadvantage. Tickle damage there from the rockets. Effortless has got that top mid control again, but that direct is not going to help dramiS in any way. Good LG from Effortless. Will he be able to clean up? No, he will not, as dramiS has decided to back away, pick up the light. He's going to try and contest a Heavy. Way too little, too late, dramiS, I'm afraid. And Effortless extends his lead 11-7. Gets the first rail, looking for the second. Doesn't get it. But will he be able to get away, though? Looks like he has done for now. Another direct here, Ketchup. The directs are just ridiculous from Effortless.
There's definitely an element developing where dramiS might be a little bit too predictable with how he's using these grappling hooks, because it almost seems like now Effortless is simply waiting for it. He waits for the grappling hook. He knows exactly where you're going to appear once you've used it. And that's it. He just waits for you to use the grappling hook, positions his weapon, and then fires when he needs to. And it's resulting in so much basically max damage situations that dramiS needs to be really careful, because he doesn't have a lot of time left. He's significantly far behind now. And the grappling hook, what was allowing him to be aggressive and compete in the earlier stage of this map, is kind of delivering himself on a silver plate to Effortless. And this is another situation. The use of Super Shotgun, the rocket launcher and the Super Shotgun as an answer to this grappling hook. Effortless, he doesn't care if you use the grappling hook at this point. In fact, it almost seems like he wants you to do it.
Yeah, he's playing his weaknesses of the Athena, you know. It's like if you do grapple hook like that and your opponent expects it and you've got a shotgun in your hand, expect those point blanks to happen. Especially with how squishy the champion is, especially right in your face. It's very, very difficult, you know. Normally you use the grapple hook to your advantage in terms of, I don't know, maybe your opponent's trying to get away, you want to try and catch up and clean him up, but it seems to be slightly different. He's trying to use these grapple hooks at an angle where he can actually push in and you may take him off guard, because he had to take those high risk, high reward plays because he's running out of time. He has run out of time, let's be honest.
They both had the same idea.
Not gonna happen now. 16-7, again, a really great map from Effortless. Did everything which was asked of him and more. dramiS was looking very good when the momentum was in his favour, but sadly for him, it is going to be 2-0 in favour of Effortless. So good job from both these players, but again, Effortless really stepping up his game this series compared to previous matchups.
I mean, what he did an incredible job of in that map was he won the champion matchup. There's really no getting around that. His use of Ranger and the fact that he went Ranger in the first place was really good for this map because of just the way that dramiS was playing the Athena. The orb was almost exclusively used not as a repositioning tool at all, as a combat tool. It was, you come in, you use your grappling hook, you're going to be point blank. That just so happens to be absolute perfect range for my super shotgun and orb to come out and annihilate any stack you had to work with. Like, how many frags in this map did that orb play a part in the second we saw the use of grappling hook, and then the counterplay was orb and close combat? You know, and Effortless, he just had the better tools for the job. He played the map incredibly well, hit some delicious rails. He hit some absolutely fantastic rails, and has earned a solid showing here today as we now go into this final map. But Effortless, I'm glad to see this level of form from him. It's clean, it's efficient, it's confident, and it's great to see Effortless bring that, because I know that a while ago, I think it might even have been around the start of stage 2 or just before, I recall him saying something along the lines of, you know, the gameplay will do the talking. You know, the entire plan here was to grind and improve and no longer be content as a player who's in the Pro League, yeah, but a player that always has to kind of worry a little bit about being within relegation territory. It has been a slow grind, but it's been a grind nonetheless, to the point where Effortless, that was a fantastic map. You know, it really was. And if we were looking at maybe, you know, the beginning of Pro League, it might have been a different story. But Effortless he's looking good now. He's looking better than good. And we'll see if he can get this final map here.
Again, he's playing to Effortless's strengths. You know, he's got very, very good combat skills, you know, especially close range. If you're going to be in his face all the time, I'm not saying 9 times out of 10 you're going to lose. It's just the fact that he thrives off those kind of matchups, those, you know, kind of like strengths he actually has. And if you're going to go in his face all the time whilst he's got a shotgun, then you're pretty much giving him these frags on a platter. And that's why he got such a huge drag lead during the last few minutes. Like, dramiS was doing fine at one stage, keeping his distance, doing the chip damage, finishing off the LG or the rockets or whatever he has in his arsenal. And then afterwards, it was just all went a bit pear-shaped. You know, he started taking too many close range angles because the deficit started to get larger. He was taking these high-risk plays of trying to use the grapple hook to, you know, make him a bit, you know, unpredictable, you know, you could say. But it wasn't. He knew it was coming, and he just sat there and waited each and every time. And now we're on going to the third and final map. Effortless is going to be, you know, a bit more cautious about what dramiS is going to do next, especially as that scale bearer. But remember though, dramiS needs to be on his toes to take out these totems, no matter what position he's in. But great rockets from dramiS to start off with. He's going to go for the telly anyway, just manages to be able to clean him up, and he's on 11 HP. Good God.
There's always going to be that objective. Get that frag on a large champion on a map like this, and really try to take as little as you can in the process, because you know what they're going to spawn with. And on a map like Vale, spawning with one weapon is all you need for a refrag in some situations. Now as the heavy spawns, Effortless drops down and takes it. The Galena, all about the utility, the heal on demand, shutting down certain advances, but they are advances that I think dramiS is going to be comfortable taking. Now, if you use a bull rush through a teleporter, you're not going to take really any damage through the totem. So it doesn't really matter too much. And the matchup, I think, favors dramiS. This is a great chance for him to get a map on the board. Effortless with that 2-0 at least. I think he would love a 3-0 given the circumstances. But a 2-1 could absolutely happen if dramiS plays his cards right.
It's difficult for Effortless because even though I said it before, he strives in that close range fights, he's got to try and keep away from dramiS at the same time, because any narrow corridors or, you know, if he's in his face at any time, he'll use that bull rush to its full extent and then either finish him off with the shotty, the rockets, etc. Whatever he's using at the time, but just needs to be extra cautious on what he wants to do and what his game plan is. But still early days yet. 90 seconds have passed. dramiS is up 2-1. The heavy is up. Oh, it looks like Effortless managed to take that from him in the end. I think he didn't realise, just due to the fact that he didn't hear any audio cues, and he could take that nicely. But another rail from Effortless. I love this range game from him. Just using these rails to its full extent. Look at it, took 100, a 36. That totem's going to help out a little bit, but just helps him get away. So I think even with that totem down, he would have been fine, but it's still trying to re-heal. But dramiS is like, nope, I'm not going to give you a chance. But Effortless is still the one.
It's his LG. His LG has been fantastic all series long. And now he's going up against Scale Bearer, the big lad. I like that rocket jump as well. Minimize the amount of self-damage that he takes. The whole goal here is to control both sides of the stack advantage. A good rail, but he will take a rocket in the process. The teleporter gets him out. dramiS sticking to him. That missed rail gives dramiS an opportunity, but he uses it to escape.
I like that though from Effortless. He's left a totem on a top telly to know if he's going to come that way, and if he's in the rail room, he's got one on the jump pad. It's Effortless now. Good rocket. Finish him off with the second one. Brilliant stuff from Effortless. And Mega is coming up any second now. And so it's perfect timing for him to go and pick that up. Items are perfectly segregated for him. But he needs to be careful. But at the same time, he doesn't. Because the bull rush isn't in dramiS's pocket as of yet. Still got another 15 to 10 seconds yet until that comes back up. Good trade. He's still trying to at least clean him up. He won't be able to. But I like his game plan there. He just wanted to take as much damage as possible and try and, do as much damage to dramiS. And at the same time, if he survives, he can go back and use those two totems to warm himself up. Oh, he ran into both of those in the end, and he will be cleaned up with the
that
LG.
Was such
and
a
the
sick
Mega
setup and a
well.
sick payout, Harry. The fact that Effortless wanted to maximize the heals he get, drops down that second teleporter, and then at the same time covers his back double the next time there's a teleporter going through there from dramiS. What a sequence.
Yeah, it seems like Effortless is just 2 steps ahead here, no matter where he is. Those totems up, taking all that damage from those 2 totems helped massively. It, pushed him to force out the engagement. He knew it was going to happen. But what is Effortless going to do next? How is he going to secure this lead and maybe this third and final map of the series? It's going to be another talking point. Good first rail, good seconds. Will he go for 3 for 3? He knows he's gone from the light to the rocket room. He gets to third. Maybe even 4 for 4 here, Ketchup. Will he? No, he won't, but the damage has already been done. He's got the heavy. He can go straight in. The Mega's up in the next 5 seconds. He can decide to leave it if he wants, which he has done. And now he's going to push in. He knows, but dramiS was going to try and re-heal with that light and those health orbs. Good stuff from Effortless. Great plays overall. Sadly didn't catch him on spawn, but knows exactly on his whereabouts. And it's delayed the Mega so much, but dramiS is too far away to even hear when the Mega will be up next. But the Heavy will be up in the next 5 seconds, and Effortless will be contesting that.
Spending the entire map controlling the top. Oh, and there's the double.
Oh, no.
dramiS was probably expecting the one through teleporter. I don't think he was prepared for the one near jump pad, which is going to nullify a bunch of the armor that he might have picked up down there. Now he's been able to clear things off a little bit. I actually like Effortless. That was a brave yet interesting piece of matchup knowledge, right? Running directly into dramiS because he knows he can tank it, and it's going to really minimize the amount of damage that Bull Rush does. That was a great way to basically use yourself as the meat shield to shut down the damage before it gets too great.
I think at the same time, if he didn't have rockets, I wasn't too sure what weapons he had, but if he did have rockets, then he was going to use those rockets straight after he uses that bull rush. If he bounces him back, on the stairs, but it means he forces dramiS to use the LG, and you can't use the rockets at that angle. So that was a great play from Effortless, well thought out. He knew it was going to happen. And do you know what? Sometimes you've got to take it, because you take more damage with the bull rush if you actually, over time, I'm not too sure how much exactly, but you do take more damage if he hits you with the bull rush a little bit later on towards the last couple of seconds. But Effortless, though, looking very good, very healthy, huge stack, 4 minutes left. Not looking good here for dramiS, especially after that first rail. Does have a second totem if we want to use it. I think there's a very good chance for Effortless isn't going to go for the overstack, but so far his totem game has been very strong. He's made dramiS literally walk in front of every single one of them almost. He's abused it nonetheless, purposely taking damage and purposely taking fights to go through the tellies and actually use those totems to re-heal. Just a great job from Effortless overall. We don't really see this much play from him. Normally gets a little bit, in terms of his mental state, gets a little bit frustrated, but we haven't seen much frustration from Effortless at all. Been playing very well. Will he hit this next round to extend his lead? No, he won't. dramiS will have to pull back, but he needs to do something quick, as he's only got 3 minutes and 20 left on the clock. He's got 5 frags to make up, which can happen on Rail. We'll have to see.
I mean, I'm going to be honest though, Lethal. I haven't seen that side of Effortless come out from quite some time. I think he's done a phenomenal job of just disciplining himself, for lack of a better term. He seems to have absolutely kind of knuckled down a lot more. Like I said, the grind has been constant, and he's really decided to take it as seriously as he can. And when he is playing now, we're seeing this level of excellence from him. The LG continues to be an impressive weapon. And the fact that he will get taken out at last. It took a while, and we finally saw one of those patented scale bearer frags that I thought we'd see a lot sooner, but Effortless has done such a great job of shutting it down, covering his bases with those totems. This Mega should shave off a good chunk of time. Never forget that common Galena passive, picking up health, shaving off cooldown for our totems, which is great. And now another one gets dropped down in a hidden location. dramiS checking things out from his point of view, but Effortless has kind of hidden 2 cheeky totems. This one's probably going to get seen, though. Nope, he jumps down earlier. Never mind. Gets the frag. But he's not going to check.
Very well played from dramiS so far. He's about 1,000 damage behind in terms of his map presence, but the item control has gone all the way to Effortless. Good LG. You mentioned it earlier, Ryan, and the fact that his LG has just been ridiculous throughout the entire series. Still takes him down.
The bull rush bounced him into the corner because of Effortless's positioning. That was so smart.
Oh, that was great stuff from Effortless. Just using everything to his advantage, even using his champion's abilities to their disadvantage. Great stuff from Effortless. But look at the item control. dramiS has only picked up 7 items. Effortless has already picked up 25. And dramiS has picked up 30 lights. That just proves to anyone watching this. But he's been on the back front the entire game, constantly having to re-heal. It's been ridiculous. Poor guy. But, you know, 1:20 left. Huge stack disadvantage. 5 frags with 1:15 left to go. I think this could be all said and done here, Ketchup.
It's a lot of work to do and not a lot of time to do it. Bull rush. Oh, God. Did absolutely nothing. In fact, by the time the bull rush ends, he comes through the teleporter and it's not even active. And at this point, Effortless will just continue to push forward. Keep up that consistency for less than a minute left to go of this series. Effortless was already 2-0 up, but this is going to be a 3-0 Effortless versus dramiS. What a showing from Effortless today. I mean, this has been impressive stuff. Every map, the game plan went near perfect. Being able to match the pace of dramiS on this map, trying to use brute force alone, which, to be fair, Lethal, I would say, was his strategy all along. The Athena was very similar. Brute force has not been the tactic of success today.
Yeah, just don't play to your opponent's strengths, really. I think that's the moral of the story here. But dramiS did do well on a lot of these maps. It's just Effortless has been playing out of his mind. His mental fortitude at the moment, his state he's in, he's just looking phenomenal. You know, some of his rails were absolute filth. The things he's been doing, it's just been great. And Effortless knew, well, both players did know that this is a must-win. And the only reason why I was a little bit worried about Effortless was just due to the fact that he feels like he definitely could put a lot more hours in if he could. He hasn't put in enough as he would like to, due to that work-life balance. But he seems to be doing all right compared to what we've just seen so far. If he plays like that every map, then great. You know, that's it's win-win for him. But, you know, the fact that he got a 3-0 win this late into the stage, that's literally the time you want it, you know, because we've only got a few more weeks left. We've only got a couple more matches left standing. And that 3-0 is going to massively help Effortless to try and avoid that relegation zone.
He won't say no for it. That's the big thing. And I've really enjoyed watching him in this series. dramiS, I mean, shame to say was never really able to get started. I think on any of the maps. I know that the keep, I think, was his best chance at the very beginning. But from that point onwards, I mean, Deep Embrace was an entirely different beast, because we kind of continue to see Athena not have the same level of success that you're used to in the other maps, where if she can't get going, she gets absolutely bullied. And there are definitely some champions that can put a lid on that high octane style. We definitely saw that coming out from Effortless, but he approached every matchup correctly, and that's what I've really enjoyed. Is his positioning for those totems was especially prominent against a scale bearer, because you know that bull rush is going to be something that might come a bit more than most champions, because it's damage mitigation. Why do I have to care going through a teleporter or something if there's a totem on the other side? I'm having damage reduction and it's damage on my end. Probably more likely to do it, but it kind of just exaggerated the sheer amount of totems that we saw put down in areas where you know the bull rush would be a threat, and then he just kept that high ground for the vast majority of the map. Secures a comfortable and a impressive 3-0. Well done, Effortless. But that is our third series already wrapped up, done and dusted. We're going to go for a quick break and set up series number 4. Don't go anywhere, because when we come back, the Quake Pro League will continue.